Hey babe, let's talk about opening up through the side body. We know that in order to open up through the heart space, we can do poses that are opened by using props. So the heart space is opened by using props or by extending through the spine, as we spoke about last week. But one of the places that we didn't really speak about was the side body, which is super important because a lot of our anxieties, particularly around anger, fear and resentment, can live in through the side body. So a couple of ways in which we can open up through the side ribs are as follows. Firstly, the very, very simple way of just sitting onto your side hip. Let me move back a bit. Oh my gosh. Move back. Sitting on your side hip. Okay, and then your hand is in alignment with your side hip and your fingers are pointing away from your hip. You're stacking your legs one on top of the other, and the distance between your hip and your hand is minimal. So you can do two things here. You can either just hang out here by pressing through the hand, the arm into the ground. You could, if you want to, slouch in through that shoulder and you'll automatically start to feel a bit of a pull through that right hip and also through the right rib cage if you're on your right arm. The second way to do this is to place a prop underneath that arm, and slouching or elbow bend, doesn't matter, but you'll feel again that pull in through the right side body. The next way is to actually draw the hips a little bit further away from the arm, and this is going to give you a deeper stretch through the side body. Yeah, and then of course you can also do it on your elbow and really rest in through there. This is quite tough on the hip bone, so you may want to place something underneath the hips, not just lie straight on the floor. So that's the first way, pretty easy. You're opening up through the side body. You can feel a bit of a stretch here. Here's the trick, is that you want to be there for an extended period of time. So in a yoga class, when I teach this particular pose, I teach it up like this, okay? And we're staying there for like anything between 3 and 10 minutes. And you're just resting lower and lower. What happens is over time, your body rests deeper, deeper into the pose until you actually really start to feel it deep into the intercostal muscles. The second way is to open up the legs nice and wide. And then you're going to draw your arm towards the inner thigh. And I'm doing it from the side so that you can see my alignment. I'm going to turn to the opposite leg with my arm resting on the inner thigh of the direction I'm going. You may want to place a block, a blanket, pillows, whatever, onto that elbow if you don't get all the way down to the ground. And then you're going to lift your arm up and drape it over your ear. So if I'm doing it the other way around, I'm going to look towards the leg that I'm bending towards, and then I'm going to look away from it, bend down to the leg, hook the elbow to the inner thigh or on a block, and then reach the opposite arm up. For some of us, this is going to be enough. And if you need a little bit more, you can drape your arm over your ear. So sometimes you find this is quite strenuous on the neck. You may want to look down. But the intention of the arm reaching up and over is to provide a little bit more weight in through the head and the side body. So the arm's opening up through the side a little bit more. Now, important to note that the side waist is going to feel it. It may feel it the most because this is somewhat of a hip opener. And so if you don't want to use the arm, you may find that this is where you'll feel it the most, around here, and that's fine too. But if you do want to use the arm and you want to get into those ribs, you're going to open up the arm. You'll already feel it when you lift the arm up to the sky. You'll already feel that there's an extension through and a stretch through the upper torso. And then if you wrap the arm around the head, you'll find that here is where you'll feel the most stretch. So remember, you can either look down or you can look up, depending on what feels best for your neck. I really love cupping my head in my hand, so my elbow needs to be on the ground to provide the support. So if I'm on a day where my elbow doesn't reach the ground, I'm going to place a block or a book underneath my elbow so that it does. Now, even if I were just here, eventually I'm going to feel it into my rib cage. But from here, I just feel it in through that lower side hip. And when I start to lift it over, this is when I feel it into the side ribs. So you want to stay there for between 3 and 7 minutes. Whew. And then you can do it on the other side as well. Just remember, one side isn't enough. You have to do both sides. Otherwise, you're a little bit imbalanced. And that's how I open up through the side ribs in the most effective and, I suppose, the deepest way possible to get rid of anger, frustration, resentment, and all of those really heavy emotions that can come up once we've peeled away the sorrow, the sadness, the grief. It's kind of like moving through the different stages, right? You move through these different stages of opening up through the heart space. All right, my friends.